You don't got 100 million for me, don't even talk to me about it. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear. Basically, let me translate, because we know Crawford don't like to do too much trash talk.
Where does Canelo go from here, Henry?
He needs to rematch. If I'm Canelo, I want to rematch Terence Crawford. He got schooled, bro. He got outboxed dude by Terence Crawford. And I know that he's itching to get that one back. The first time he fought Triple G, he came back the second time, and he legit beat Triple G.
Once in a lifetime fight. It doesn't need to be a rematch. I think Bud would do worse the next fight. He would put it on Canelo a little worse than that, because that style of fight, I don't think he beats someone like Terence Crawford. But if I'm Terence Crawford, of course I'll fight him again. But this time, I'm the A side. I think Terence Crawford is going to be more confident next time, knowing that I can punch with this guy. I can take his shot. I'm faster.
He fought Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
He didn't do what the last two did, just run. He threw at him. I'm going to call your bluff, bro.
You are not going to believe this, but Terence Crawford has officially agreed to a rematch with Canelo Alvarez under one condition that has already surprised promoters, upset fans, and put Turkey in a tough spot. And yes, this condition is so extreme that it could either secure or completely cancel the fight. After weeks of rumors, quiet talks, and leaked reports from Mexican media, the rematch that almost no one expected is suddenly back in play. But Crawford will not step into the ring unless the deal reaches a number that most fighters will never see in their whole careers. Let us break it all down. According to multiple sources and a viral TV report, Canelo Alvarez has already told his team that a Crawford rematch is his main goal for 2026. He wants revenge. He wants his titles back, and he wants to forget his worst career performance. Crawford heard that and answered with one statement that stopped the boxing world cold. If they do not give me 100 million, it is not happening. Not 60, not 80, a full $100 million. No negotiation. His trainer Bernie confirmed it. Crawford confirmed it. And now Turkey has to decide.
My bad. Terence Crawford is demanding Turkey Al Sheikh to give him $100 million in order for the Canelo rematch to go down. Now, there is a rematch clause going on between Canelo and Crawford. Obviously, everybody knows that. But if he's not going to get the $100 million, that I'm going to be honest with you, I think he truly deserves $100 million for everything that he has gone through in the sport of boxing. The $100 million, number one. But if he doesn't get it, all he has to do is just wait out the contract. There's terms in the contract. Now, in regards to terms, we don't know what the terms hold. I don't know if it's 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be. And if not, if they don't come up with an agreement to fight and Crawford doesn't get $100 million, if Canelo then decides not to fight him and decides to go somewhere else, then the contract is voided out. It's completely and over and done with. And Crawford just can go about his business. But Crawford, stay on the $100 million. And on top of that, the fight should be in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm telling you, $100 million, and the fight should be in Omaha.
Disputed titles in 3 different divisions. Canelo lost. Crawford won. It is really that simple.
What's his power like? Have you been hit by anybody that strong before?
I've been hit harder.
No, in a real fight, not a sparring.
In a real fight. Avanesian, I mean not Avanesian, but Mean Machine hit harder than Canelo, to me. To be honest.
Terence. Congratulations.
Right.
Before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. Everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
Heavyweight division and made different promotions work together. He has the money, the influence, and the vision to put together fights that once seemed impossible. And he knows that the rematch would attract worldwide attention.
Double fake to your left. Double fake to your right. Double fake to your left.
You.
Step back, rhythm. Step back, rhythm. Rhythm, y'all.
Still got some abs.
Double fake, double fake. Double fake.
Canelo wants revenge. Mexico wants revenge. And Crawford wants a paycheck big enough to retire for good. If there is any promoter on the planet who would write a $100 million check, it is Turkey. But here is the catch. Insiders say the first fight did not bring the level of excitement needed to justify a rematch at that price. The first fight was described as dull, technical, and smart, but not thrilling. Fans were hoping for a war. Instead, they got a chess match. And that is where the real risk lies.
This fight will not happen if we are not involved. As Gia, Riyadh sees in Saudi Arabia. This is truth. Because even with what the relationship with Netflix, and we are very happy about it, still this fight cost more.
Let us already made history.
A whole lot of confusion online about why you gave them belts back. People really think you got them belts and you were supposed to keep them and you gave them back. Belts is like a trophy, you know, so of course after the fight we get the belts, we get to take pictures with the belts, but them his personal belts. I'm gonna get my own personal belts. Well, we gotta return the belts. So the respect that I have for him, just like I have for Spence, you know, just like I have for any other champ that I took their belts from, I personally wanted to give the belts back to Canelo. You know, that's a sign of respect. So, you know, I'm looking for him. I'm like, hey, you know, where Canelo at? They like, oh, he in the press conference. They didn't want to let me in at first because they thought that we was trying to, you know what I mean, be on bullshit or whatever the case may be. So I like, hey, man, open the door, man. I'm trying to give him his belts back. Like, I can come by myself because, you know, I was with everybody and they was just like, all right, you know what I mean? We don't want y'all trying to come in here and bombard his press. I said, I'll wait, you know what I mean? Like, it's all respect, you know, and I just, you know, told him, thank you again, you know what I mean? This is like a sign of respect. I want to be the one to give you your belts back because, you know, you didn't have to fight me, and it's just, you know, a sign of respect.
That's one thing I've always respected about you, bro, is like, you know, you are a competitor, but when you win, you don't disrespect nobody. You don't try to, you know, drag nobody through the mud. Like the same thing with Spence, you know, all the talk that was had and all the stuff that was said, not just from him, but just fan bases. You could have easily did that, you know, and been like, I told y'all. And you did do that, but it wasn't in a disrespectful way. And you probably could have celebrated more and you didn't, bro. So I respect that about you. You know when to be a competitor and when to be a man and say, you know, I've done enough.
And most importantly, Canelo did not show anything that suggests he could win a second fight. His size did not make a difference. His power did not help him. His experience did not give him an edge. Crawford was simply the better fighter.
They have a rematch clause. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of wording because Canelo doesn't enter a fight without some kind of wording in terms of a rematch clause. But he's just not going to beat Terence Crawford. It's the style's all wrong for him, the movement's all wrong for him. And that's what I said, you know, going into the fight, I really believed Crawford would win in the style that he did. And then just as it got a bit closer at the weigh-in, I was like, my heart was like, nah, Canelo's got this, you know. And but deep down, I kind of knew that it was all wrong for him. And to be honest with you, Canelo knew it was all wrong for him. You know, I had the conversation with Canelo Alvarez probably, I don't know, a year ago, about Terence Crawford. And he was like, nah, why would I fight Terence Crawford? Like, you know, he hates that style. And when he fought Charlo, I remember him being really disappointed that Charlo just moved and moved and moved. And that's why he ended up fighting Munguia and Berlanga, because they're guys that wouldn't do that and they'd stand in front of him, and that suits him down to the ground. Anyone that's got movement like Skull, like Crawford, like, you know, he really struggles against. And when he was a bit younger and fresher, he could probably get away with it and cut it off, and, you know, but then you see guys like Bivol and, you know, Crawford and these guys beat him because of that movement. And I don't know what he does again. I mean, you know, the biggest money fight out there for him is the rematch with Crawford.
So promoters are asking a straightforward question. If the first fight was not exciting and the second one could turn out the same way, why should they take the risk of spending $100 million? Especially when Crawford is already 38 years old and is not known for getting into wild slugfests.
You know what, sometimes you try and your body cannot go, right? That's my frustration. Maybe I can figure out Crawford, but my body cannot go anymore. So I try it, but my body just no let me.
Canelo's entire reputation is built on being the face of boxing. The guy who takes every big challenge. The guy who wins major fights and controls entire weight classes. Crawford ruined that image. That loss did not just affect his record, it affected who he is as a fighter. For the first time in a long time, Canelo did not look like a superstar. He looked ordinary. He looked slow, and he looked like someone who could be defeated.
It's wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference.
He needs to make a change. I think I would really like to see the rematch. In a second fight, if he comes back with the right drive, I believe he could beat Crawford. Crawford is very skilled, but Canelo has the strength to make it happen. He is tough and can take hard shots. So I think he could just go forward, not worry about getting hit, and keep throwing punches. Even if he takes some damage, he should not stop. He should keep pushing until he lands his own shots. 111. Reports say Canelo told his team that he cannot accept the idea of Crawford being the final mark on his career record. He wants to redeem himself. He wants his titles back, and he wants everyone to know that he can still defeat top-level fighters. His drive is genuine.
Change, I think. I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford. Because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit. But don't give up. Keep going until you hit him.
But the real question is it worth $100 million? Crawford is no longer the same hungry challenger he once was. He has every title, every honor, and every historic accomplishment. He has nothing left to prove. He also has other paths to consider. Jaron Ennis, David Benavidez, Gennady Golovkin, middleweight champions, or even walking away from the sport for good.
I beat this guy, it's his excuse, I beat this guy, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really gonna give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative, like, man, y'all watching something great right now, and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. We really didn't realize it until now, when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, and the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, so I just think, when you that much better than the competition, people not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
Test.
Back down to 154 and face Jaron Ennis, the guy who prepared Canelo Alvarez for this fight.
Nope. I ain't going down 154.
Crawford could easily walk away from boxing and never look back. But the Canelo rematch could be his last payday and the biggest of his life.
I think Crawford took it way more serious than Canelo, which is kind of weird because, the amount of money that Canelo was making. And I know all these people say, oh, yeah, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. He's throwing 10 punches around, or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just going to walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's going to be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling with Canelo like in the 8th, 9th, getting the best out of him. Boxing, he's epitome of a great boxer. There's a lot of lessons to be learned in that fight. You know what I mean? If you really want to make something come true and you really believe it, you can make it come true. And then the other lesson is don't let your ego get the best out of you. And don't think that you don't have to prepare because you're a bigger fighter. You know what I mean? That shit will bite you in the...
Oh, congratulations to Crawford. That was beautiful. You know, that was a beautiful performance. But leading into the fight, I just thought the weight difference. Canelo's been active. He was inactive. I knew it would be close, but I thought Canelo would just be a little bit stronger, and you will see the difference in the punches. Just like I thought he would back him up a little bit, but Crawford did a good job with just using that jab, putting his punches together and using his angles. I think that was the most important. I think that's what he did the best. I feel like easy to say, but I feel like if Canelo would have used his jab a little bit, it would have made it. It would have been. I think he would have did way better. I feel like he was just loading up too much. I feel like if he just used his jab a little bit more and just try to put his punches together without power, he's a natural puncher, he would have did a lot better, but he was loading up. So Crawford was just blocking it and coming back with 3 soft touches. It looked like he wasn't even putting on behind it. He was just touching him the whole fight. And he just boxed him. It was just a beautiful performance.
On the line at 38 against a younger, stronger fighter who is hungry for revenge, you had better pay me more than anyone has ever received. He is not being greedy. He is being smart. And in boxing, being smart is everything. If Turkey agrees to Crawford's terms and the rematch goes ahead, it will send a strong message across the sport. It will show that fighters have real power at the negotiation table. It will prove that legacy fights still matter and that stars can demand huge paydays. Boxing would be entering a new financial era. But if Turkey says no and the rematch falls apart, that sends a different signal. It means promoters will not overpay for slow-paced fights. It means legacy fights could be replaced by fresh and exciting new talent. It means Crawford's style may not draw huge numbers. Boxing would be shifting toward pay based on performance. Either way, the sport is about to change. Canelo has already told his team he wants the rematch. He did not enjoy losing. He did not enjoy being outboxed. He did not like how his performance looked to the world. He is also tied to a 4-fight deal with Turkey. And this rematch fits the kind of big event identity that major networks are looking for.
Alvarez wants Terence Crawford rematch. I expect nothing less from Canelo. He wants to get that fight back because, well, number one, it's a somewhat advantageous matchup at 168 for him, and there's not many other matchups at 168 for Canelo right now that offer him any sort of advantages. We'll look at the first fight, and the things that plagued Canelo were essentially the things that plague him against most boxers. His flat feet, his lack of movement, his lack of volume. He couldn't get to Terence. He was overextending. He was getting caught with counter shots as he overextended. So what would be different if they fought again? The only thing that I could see that Canelo may be able to do some different things with, you would have to fight Terence Crawford like he fought Sergey Kovalev at 175. That's genuinely what he would have to do. He'd have to be lighter on his feet. He'd have to throw more combinations, and he'd have to be quicker with it.
But he has to face a difficult truth. Crawford is older, more intelligent in the ring, and more determined than Canelo expected. And Canelo has not looked like the same dominant fighter he once was for several years now. If he loses once more, his legacy will suffer a real blow.
Crawford did his thing. He looked good. He looked good. He looked strong. He carried the weight well. I mean, he looked good. Can't say nothing bad about it.
Were you a little bit shocked about, how he beat him? Were you a little bit shocked how he beat him? Even because he went up 3 weight classes. Were you just surprised?
Nah, I wasn't shocked. Canelo's not a big guy anyway. Canelo got it that started at 47 and came up to 168. So, I feel like Crawford, he walks around probably 169, 170-ish, or whatever. So I feel like it was kind of easy for him to make the weight, and he looked good. He handled it well.
After that fight, there was a lot of talk about Crawford's place in boxing history. You think now, after that, when you consider the GOAT or all-time great?
He is one of the greats, for sure.
take. Crawford's team says pay him what he deserves or just forget about it. And surprisingly, insiders now claim that Turkey is actually thinking it over. At this moment, the decision rests with Turkey. Canelo wants the fight. Crawford wants it too, but at a specific price. The boxing community is divided. But the one thing we all know for sure is this. The rematch will only happen if Crawford's tough demand is accepted. And if Turkey writes that check, the fight will go down as the biggest financial risk in boxing history. So fans, what is your take? Is Crawford worth $100 million? Should Turkey go ahead with the rematch? Will Canelo get his revenge? Or will he lose even more clearly this time? Drop your thoughts below. Do not forget to like this video and subscribe to Fight Field. I will see you in the next one.